Greetings and welcome to the Showcase series. I am Darkling and this of course is Ark Survival Evolved. Today I'll be showing you my first Abberation build. I haven't played it in a while and the map's about to change, so I thought it would be a good time to jump in and record the build. So stick around and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So it's been a while since I've actually played on this map, so I don't know what the state of the base is actually in, so we're going to inspect it as is. So these are the pins that I made on the side of my entrance. I used a floating canopy on the edges. The actual central part and the inside isn't actually covered over. I'll show you that in a moment. The front entrance came out exceedingly well. I was very happy with the shaping that I managed to get going on in there. We'll get a better look once we get inside. I'm just going to have a peep in the side entrance just so you can see the top of the side pins. Oops. Gates don't work. I'm trying to open the automatic gate, that's what the problem is. So as you can see on the inside, the canopy isn't over the very center, it's just around the outside. Bit of shaping going on, and it connects to the main roof structure. So we're going to have a quick wander up here. As you can see, you can quite happily get up here. Now this is possibly a little bit laggy. I'm not sure what the recording is going to be like. The Abberation map gives me a lot of problems with this computer. So yeah, as you can see, it's quite a organic sort of space. I can just run past the Reaper up here, and you can see the other side is a different shape, but the idea is virtually the same. Okay, so we're going to come back out the front and have a look at the main entrance, which is automatically open because we were on the roof. I've got an elevator that goes up there because there's metal nodes, but there's nothing terribly special up there. So the idea behind this base was it was going to be as minimal as possible. I didn't really want to spend too much time on Abberation. I just wanted to play it and enjoy it, and it was going to be less about the big base building, because the base building in Abberation is different than any other map because you've got to worry more about what comes from above. So here's the entranceway. I have Plant X just inside the entrance to make sure anything that follows me in dies, as he found out. So the entrance here, now I did something different with this particular build. To get up to the top layer, oops, I opened the wrong door. To the top layer you close that gate, and that's the storage for mid-sized dinos. And if we come back out of here, I think we've got an earthquake, which is great timing. So this is the main level, which I'll get to in a moment. We'll just check out the bottom one first. Come on. So this is smaller dino storage. This has my Yankees and a whole heap of Ravagers. That isn't running because I'm running on a tech generator at the moment. I brought that in when I stopped playing on this map so much to keep things running while I was away. Got a little room under here with a spare tech gen. This wasn't really meant to be included. I was just kind of boxing off the area, and I ended up with a bit of space, so I thought I'd try stick something in there. Nothing terribly spectacular. So we close that, and then we get the main level of the building, really. So I've got all my storage. People seem to really like my storage methods. I find it really useful to just have everything kind of together, and everything has its own, like, together but separate. yeah. Certain things have certain values. Now I put myself in creative mode just so I can fly on command if I need to. So I keep my narcotics in here, taming gear. What's that one? I think it's just miscellaneous. And on the other side it was personal, so L360 myself, and I think I had a spare on that one as well. So yeah, all sorts of storage in here. I sort of covered over the top area of everything as well. I'll look up there in a moment. Everything was pretty simple. Now, something I tried to replicate on the Project Pandora build, and I couldn't figure out why it didn't work. Turns out I was wrong. Now, I was trying to, on the Project Pandora, extend out two tables and stick tables on top of each other, but I actually had it wrong. It was a table on a catwalk. So that you can see the catwalk sticking through. Because of the way I did the shaping in this room, this is actually overlaid snaps. So as you can see, the square tiles don't line up with the triangular tiles there. So what I did to put these above is I put a couple of tables on the catwalk, which allowed me to extend out further than the actual catwalk itself, and then I merely placed a preserving bin over the tops of the table. Pops back into place. Not too much. That'd be fine, doesn't need to be perfect. And it hid most of it. It doesn't seem to be sitting quite the same as the others, but I'm not particularly worried at this point. This map is actually about to be wiped. So we come over here, and again, this is just another crafting area. I had all sorts of things going on. Like, you may not notice when you were running around here, like everything looks really quite well connected, but there are spots where there are little bits like this where I've used overlapping tile techniques to get the shaping that I want, but you end up with a few little funky connections where things aren't connecting in the center of, on the edge of walls or things like that. Come around and more crafting. I'm getting really fond of making these little pod areas for crafting and whatnot. I quite like them. So if you hadn't noticed, there's also some other overlapping techniques. I've covered a lot of these in my tutorial vids, so if you're wanting to explore them further, that'd be the way to go. Use these for a while, so I do believe most of my dung beetles died. Still have at least one left. Again, I just haven't been on to feed them. The collectors haven't been doing the job, and yeah. On the other side, that is my bookcases, so it's my library section. I kept this build pretty simple. There's a crap ton of aircon around the middle here, and you might notice I have tech elevators. They got added after I built this, so that was added as an afterthought. So out here, this is why this whole level is built the way it is. See, I could have built within a normal snapping area, but I did the overlaying snapping because I made this was the first part of the actual level to be built. So what it is there is a rope coming up from the island down there. If you bring a Ravager up here, you can jump off into this area quite happily and walk the Ravager through the double doors and offload and whatnot. It turned out really good. I was really pleased with how that came out, and then everything on this level got built around that. So like I said, the tech elevators didn't exist when this was built, so I have a horrible spiral staircase going from top to bottom. I find them really irritating to have to go up and down very much. As you can see, there's that again, tech elevator. This very top bedroom section doesn't have the tech elevator because the tech elevator would need to be down there, and that would mess up the snap point that I've got going on. So yeah, this is the bedroom area. Just a main bed and a couple of headstones. That is from the gravestone mod, so you can collect your stuff without having to go looking for it. Out around the outer ring is the greenhouse, which is now dead because I haven't been on here. Now, as you can see, I built over the water. Now the reason for this is I wanted to build a pen underneath. It didn't turn out looking as cool as it could have. It turned out pretty functional. So I got some stuff going on here as well. See if that worked. Yep, okay. This is why I put creative mode on, so I could just hover around. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of a feature at the top here. The actual build itself is pretty generically shaped. Is the central part of the build, and then it actually goes downwards. So there's actually a lower section. So what you're seeing all fits within the main structure, and then I put a spline that goes all the way down to the ground from here, and that is the large Dino storage. So what I'll do is I'll just drop down here so you can see the connection. So that's what I did for the connection between the two. I had to have the central part because that's the staircase. Again, this was built before the tech elevator got added, so that was added as an afterthought. And I ended up making a little bit of a lip underneath just to make it look funky. And obviously the main storage down there. Now there is some other stuff there as well. So I'm not actually going to go down all the stairs because you've seen everything through there. The tech elevator would take me to the bottom layer anyway, so what I might do is actually just come out here and go from the water. Oh, that's right, you can actually shift run. Okay, so I'm getting a bit quick there. So as you can see from down below, it is another compound. I added a in-water connection to get in here, and that is so that large dinos can get up through the hatch. So even a Giga can get through a door like this. My first attempt at actually putting my logo on a billboard, which came out so ridiculously dark. Yeah. So this is the main large dino storage. I have actually emptied this out a bit. There should only be one thing left in here now, I think. I don't know what the other thing. I'm sure there was actually one other thing. It doesn't matter. Yes, that is an admin painted basilisk, but it's my admin painted basilisk. It is absolutely awesome. I love basilisk. It's so much fun. So yeah, this is the main, like I said, the large dino storage. Now there is a small level above this. I say small. So we'll go up the tech elevator into that area. I still got fly on or something? No. Why are you not letting me go up? No, it's not actually letting me do a small jump. Okay, that's fine. I will take the stairs then. So I'll run up the stairs. Should only be a short run. And then you got this level. So along here is just some basic Ravager storage and a side entrance that goes down to the cave. From in here, I decided that there was some important things that we had to have. There was meant to be some plant X up there, but again, plants have died. I have a small jail, which I don't know if it actually has anybody in it at the moment. Nope. Damon Whalen was actually using it as a logout point at one point. So I will come back through that way so you can see more. This way I decided for once I was going to put a morgue in. Now I'm not sure what the state of the morgue is going to be like this time. Oh yep, they are still there. I have admin on this server, so I did actually spawn in some cadavers. So these are test players, although actually trying to get them to ragdoll onto a table or something that looks like a table is actually really difficult. So yeah, they don't look as morgue like. It looks more like a kinky dungeon, but we're going to overlook that. So yeah, this is my morgue. They're my slabs for my cadavers. I have some preserving bins under here for preserving their body parts. I have my crematorium, so around the corner there I actually have an access point where I can turn that on. I'll do that for compost, just to dispose of any of the other body parts. So I should be able to access that. Spark powder will be fine. Okay, and there you go, there is my crematorium. And just in case we need to, here is the body pit. And I used an industrial grinder sunk into the floor to show you what we do with the cadavers normally. So yeah, happy bunch here, total happy bunch. I always wanted to use the grinder to make something that looked a bit different. So yeah, that's. Oh, there's also a little tucked around actual private medical facility in here. Well, it's a medical facility. It's still medical. It's a corpse. I got a few funky little gaps. I suppose you could call them windows of sorts. That comes through into my actual hospital wing. So I do have a morgue, but I do have a hospital wing as well. Morgue is more reliable with Arc. So from this side, you're accessing it from the staff side. There's the reception desk, a little bit of storage, some deep freezers, or at least they look like deep freezers. Basic medical stuff. A little bit of like an office area up here, maybe for a bit of studying for your medical exams or whatever, and the chief medical officer's office that you can overlook everything. And there's not a lot of things in Arc that I could fill that room out, not have it look like any other room. And here is the entrance. I'm going to back out of here so you can't see across the hallway. So this is the hospital wing, front desk from the front, and obviously connection through, and I have outdoor access here, and that's to be able to get onto the outer ring. And through here there's access behind the counter. I believe the other side is a toilet, and it's a little cafeteria for the workers. You'll see this shape here appear predominantly in my taverns because I really love the idea of recessed tables. It makes me think like a smuggler kind of place. Like, you're having dodgy meetings, you need a place where you can be a little bit more private. So that is pretty much this this build. I don't think I've missed anything else. There is another spot on the map where I built a large spiral ramp, but it's not terribly impressive. I might have a quick nosy over there before I finish up this video. But yeah, so that's how this build turned out. I don't think it looks as interesting as it could have. I think it could have had a lot more going on. The connection between the two, I think, is the letdown. I think it might have done better with something else, but no, it did turn out pretty cool. I'm really happy with the top level, with how the side pins are put together. I really like how that turned out. As a whole, I think it's a good build. Not flashy as such. It's mostly simple. There's some interesting techniques going on in it. Okay, I decided to cut. The travel over was horrific. My problems with Abberation and rendering, it does tend to be a bit of a problem for me. That's why I haven't done a lot of recording on Abberation yet. So this is tucked away near the entrance, well, not near the entrance to the bioloom, but to the edge to the bioloom. There's an entrance way further down there. So I got stuck in the bioloom, and built myself out of it, and then I ended up replacing that ramp with something a little bit more heavy duty. So this is my little ramp down. I say little ramp. I'm going to show you it because it ended up with quite an interesting effect. I don't know, I'd say the lighting here is only going to be torches. I'd say the tech gen that ran this is probably offline by now. Judging by the darkness, I'd say that's true. So yeah, it's a bit of a drop. You may actually recognize this is, I believe I used it in one of my intros. So if you watch some of my other videos, you may actually have seen me using fly to go down the middle of it to get a good effect. It turned out pretty interesting. There's actually a second one of these that goes down another level, because this doesn't actually go all the way to the very bottom. It's actually 2 stages. So I'm going to go from the outside, and I'll give you a quick look from that side. Hopefully I've got GCM on still. So yeah, I didn't bother doing anything fancy with the roof. I was figuring I could put rock drakes and whatnot up there. I don't really like the way they fly. It's not the easiest thing to actually land on something like that. Now the glass on these does look funky. The reason for that is since I last played on here, S Plus did that glass update, and it reset all the glass models. So that was just a single-sided one-way glass, so you couldn't see into it. But you get the idea. It's a very long cylinder that goes from the top to the bottom, and like I said, there's a spot over here just a little bit further along. It's still accessible from the same ledge, and that is the lower half. So that connects this part to the bottom. I had done a different kind of ramp, but it proved to be a bit of a pain, so I replaced it with something a little bit more like this. You can get the basilisk up these ramps, but I tell you what, it gives you such a headache. It's barely worth it. You end up with I don't know if you've used the basilisk before. If you get too close to a low ceiling, it sticks the basilisk to the ceiling. You get that all the way up, and if you're really careful with your driving, it's fine. But yeah, if you're not, you could possibly get lost. I'm just gonna head down. This is the very lowest layer of the ramp. I actually decided, oh, the glass in here didn't reset. Why did that not reset? Well, the rest of it did. I'm not going to ask. So yeah, there's all the crystals and whatnot down below, and I actually decided to keep those as part of the build. In fact, there is actually a little bit of a doorway here, and I think I put a bed down here, so this is actually one of my respawn points. So I got a nice cute little log out room. So I hope you enjoyed the look around. I hope you found it interesting, seeing what can be done. Like I said, it isn't one of my flashiest builds ever, but it definitely has some fun techniques involved. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, like button if you haven't already, and there is a link in the description for my Discord if you want to ask any building related questions or otherwise. Take care and enjoy your building.